Welcome folks, this is Wear and Tear, yet another outdoor and gear review channel, and today I want to compare a few nice knives, starting with a very expensive one, very high-end one. This is the Kizer Intrepid in S35VN steel. This is an extremely nice knife. Big shout out to Mr. Nasty Renegade, by the way. Titanium handle, frame lock, everything is well contoured. S35VN blade steel, so which is a high-end steel, excellent steel. Runs on ball bearings, drop shots like a pro, and is just wonderfully to operate. Now, someone might wonder, does it really pay off to spend like $200 on a blade like this if you can't have for like 10 to 20 bucks you can have something like this Geo knife. So I got it for like 11 or 12 bucks, but this is like on par with the Evangro or some other of those cheap Chinese knives, and you know, it has actually a similar size, kind of similar blade shape, at least on the first inspection. It is a simple liner lock, the G10 handle. Also runs on ball bearings. It kind of drop shots, but it is very nice in terms of deployment. You can feel the D10 ball here. Yeah, it's not quite as nice, but it is also D2 steel, so a little bit of a better steel. It's extremely sharp. It also has good ergonomics. And then let's compare that to Civivi Praxis, which runs for about 50 bucks. This one is a little bit of a customized version. I added thumb studs to this one. So Vika thumb studs, they don't cost a whole lot and they blend in nicely with this knife, I think. So this one is Civivi Praxis. You already have a G10 handle. You have 440C steel, so pretty standard stainless steel. And it's a full-size knife. It feels very good in hand. It's awesome spear point. It really drop shots nicely. Also, of course, around the ball bearings. None of these are really hard-use knives, of course. So kind of similar size. So we have 10 bucks, or let's say 20 bucks. Usually you get something like this for 20 bucks if you really know where to get good prices for budget. This one definitely runs between 50 and 60, and this one runs up to like 200 bucks, I think. It's sold out. They're no longer manufactured, so maybe on the used blade market you get them for 150 bucks, 170, I don't know. So if you look at those three knives, you might wonder, does it really pay off to pay a premium price for something like that? And you know, the numbers don't do it justice. All of these knives, they feel excellent in hand. Now, there's of course a big jump from this knife to this one. There is not as big of a jump from this knife to this one. And if I compare those two knives, I both like them. And when I first got the Civivi Praxis, I thought, man, this is the absolute perfect knife. Not in terms of a hard use knife, of course. You would more go maybe with an Ontario Red, something running on washers, or even a Recon 1, okay? This is a different category of knives. I'm not talking about those kinds of knives today. Those are the hard use knives, the outdoor survival, whatever, folders. But this is more EDC stuff. This is more civilized stuff for more civilized times. So when I first got the Civivi Praxis, I thought, you can't do a better knife than this. I mean, look at the skeletonized steel in there. It's all skeletonized. It's like really nicely made. Everything runs so precisely. And even the Geo knife, you know, is skeletonized a little bit, but not to that extent. So I thought, this is the perfect knife. Even if I pay 100, 200 more, I can't get anything better. And on paper, yeah, this has titanium and S35VN, but is it really that much better? And then when you actually start handling the knife and feel the operation, experience the mechanics, and you start to realize you don't know exactly why, but this knife is so much better than the Civivi Praxis. Despite being so similar, and it's a little bit heavier, it definitely feels more sturdier, and it's just beautiful, you know. Even though it has a little bit of usage on it, it's absolutely beautiful. The S35 VN steel is just way more powerful than a 440C steel. It stays sharp like forever. It's like almost you don't need to resharpen anything. It's just wonderful. Let's look here. Okay, like this. This one is sharp too, of course. They're all sharp, of similar sharpness, but this one stays sharp for forever, basically, unless you really abuse it. So, although it might not be obvious why a knife costs that much more, but you really have to get familiar with it, you have to play with it, and then you might find reasons to justify a higher price. And you can get a perfectly serviceable knife for 20 bucks. That even feels good in hand, admittedly. But there is a big jump still from this knife to this knife. So it's definitely worth to eventually look at higher priced knives. And it's probably not for shopping online. Basically, go and walk in a store, compare different knives, and just feel how they go in hand, and you might just find something really, really awesome. Like this Kizer, I would have never gotten it online because on paper alone, yeah, it has better steel and better materials, but how much better can it be than a $50 knife? The answer is a lot better. It's just not so obvious unless you experience the knives. So I really like the Kizer Intrepid. It's an awesome knife. If you can still get it, it's definitely worth a buy. It's wonderfully in hand. It really feels solid. You can really go in there. It's a perfect color. And although I use it for light tasks, of course, as with most expensive knives, you use them for lighter tasks, I still trust that it would be able to take much harder use than I usually do. So I hope you enjoyed this little knife talk. After all, it's always nice to see a few knives in one spot. This was Wear and Tear, over and out.